Hello everybody, sorry for the delayed start. Had a bit of technical issues and I'll explain that here in a second. Good evening, welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. Happy Thursday, happy prelude to Easter weekend. I hope you're all doing well tonight. Hello Johnny, hello Missy. Thanks for being here. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting everything ready because we can just start building. I'm gonna do flowers tonight. These are the last bit of botanicals that I have left to get done. I have a pretty okay feeling that we'll get through this tonight. If not, if we get done early, I got stuff early. So let me know how everything sounds and if everything looks okay. So I had some technical issues today with my computer that I was very excited to get a couple years ago, but I have a feeling it's probably pretty old now. Moore's Law and all. I'm going to test to see if messages go out. Message, test, hello world. Yeah, cool. So I was rendering a microfighter today, and like I have in the, this is going to be, we're going to be done with this in 2 hours, no problem. Which means I've got extra stuff that I can work on. Ooh, might do one of these guys. I might do a whole couple hours dedicated to these guys actually. But I might do one today. We'll have to see. So I was, and this, it doesn't come in a good anything. There's no extra bit holding it in place or anything, but I thought I'd do it up here so you can all see it. It's a little loud. Got some stems. Oh, I need to go get a vase for this as well, because this one does not come with a vase. This one is vaseless. They've all been amazing so far. I really like all this stuff. So, working on, by the way, this is a seasonal beer from Shiner. It's called Trail Ale. It's a trail inspired mix with chocolate, nuts, dried fruit, and natural flavors. It's a, come on, focus on that. It's Shiner, which is a Spetzel brewing company. It's very good. It's actually a little bit Christmassy, and it's Shiner, so they're twist off. And I've had one of these before, and they are amazing. I love them so much. Got kind of a candy flavor to them, like chocolate covered pretzels, which is I think what they're going for with that, so quite good. So I was rendering a set today. So you're rendering something with your pals the other day, and I got about 5% into it and it just died. Locked up the entire Windows. I had to hard boot it, and I was a little upset. And so it happened once before, and I was like, okay, well, last time I just hard booted it and it came out fine. So I was like, yeah, I'll hard boot it. It's probably just a fluke, bit of code that got whatever. I had just updated Studio. So I was like, I'm hoping this isn't a problem. So I hard booted it, tried it again, froze up again. I was like, well, this is weird. So then I tried to do, instead of a medium or a high resolution, I tried to do a medium resolution image. And it did it again. And I'm like, oh, what the heck? So I tried, so there's two ways to render things in Studio. It's photoreal, which is handled by something called an eyesight engine, and I know nothing about this really. And what's up, Scott? Here's about your designer. Maybe that's the designer. This is just a bit of, yeah, model designer of Lego Group. Milan Maj. I'm guessing he did the flowers. So there you go. Here's your explanation of what your brick separator can do, if you don't know that by now. Different bags are going to get us different flowers. So we're going to need to start with the leather leaf fern and the cow parsley and Queen Anne's lace. So that's the 3 flowers that we're starting with up here. So we'll need 2 of these with bag 1. So I rendered, I was trying to render this and it kept dying, and so I tried, like I said, there's 2 ways to do it. There's photoreal, which is the eyesight render engine, and then there's POV ray. And I don't know what any of this means other than it's 2 different ways to do it. The photoreal gets the really nice looking ones where you can add like UV degradation, scratches, the logos on Lego, to the point where I've had people comment that that was a very nice build, and I have to tell them that it's just a render. So POV ray render gets done real quick, but it's not as nice looking. So there's that. Some really great pieces in here. I'm just kind of looking at all these pieces that I haven't seen yet. Obviously we've got, for the petals, we've got these, what are probably very cool if you get them in trans clear colors, but a lot of the flower bits have these in different colors, so that's cool. Again, we've got these guys, these upside down kind of petal bits. I don't know if we've seen this piece in this color before, maybe in a previous flower. I don't know that I've seen these in dark green, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. These are always good. These are always good. I don't seem to remember a lot of these clips in yellow, so that's good to know that they're there. But I think this is probably the piece in this portion that everybody's fawning over, is the wheel spoke for the internal part of the flower, so that's going to be fun. Okay, listen mode. That's cool. Yeah, one way, and so I did that and it worked. I did the less groovy way, the less nice looking way, and it worked fine. So I posted on Bricklink, the studio forum, and this is times 3, so let's see if we can do this times 3. And they were like, well, see if you can get the logs, and I got the logs, and they're like, there's really not a whole lot to these logs. I'm like, well, this is all that was given to me. This is all the log had. Can I make that any... I'm gonna move this. Nope, that's not what I want to do. I want to move that over. There we go. This is a little finicky. It's just off the... Can I reduce that size a little? There we go. Maybe reduce it a little more. So I get the full page on here. That's pretty good. Okay. So their response was, yeah, I'll ask the developer. Somebody on Bricklink was like, I'll ask the developers, see what they say. Do you have the logs for it? And I said, here's the logs. And they said there wasn't a whole lot to those logs. I said, this is the best I got because Windows basically locks up. It freezes. At some point, somebody told me that there's a difference between a freeze and a crash. They're like, now the program didn't crash, your Windows froze. I'm like, I know, that's what I said at the very beginning. I've been a systems administrator for like 25 years. I know the difference between Windows freezing and crashing. I get it. I'm good. But they were very helpful, trying to make sure that, you know, they're like, well, what settings are you using? And blah, 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 blah. And they're like, I don't think it's the the render engine, because the render engine hasn't updated in like 2 years. Oh, Beth is talking to somebody. I was like, is she talking to me from all the way in there? So, long story short, because I could do this all night. I could just talk about this all night. But basically, it comes down to a while ago, and I don't remember exactly when, but a while ago, there was an issue with rendering in Studio via using your graphics card. It would throw an error. And so Studio said, use your CPU instead for now. It should get the job done until we figure this out. So, and I don't remember when this was, but I left mine on CPU. And apparently that's bad, because the CPU, I was told as I was posting this issue on Reddit, which is always a good thing if you want your self-esteem questioned, is that the CPU is basically there to keep your computer alive. The GPU should be doing all the work. And I'm like, well, I get that, but my GPU is a POS. It was whatever minimum, because I ordered the computer during a time of like, you could not get a graphics card to save your life. And if you found one, they were $6,000. This is like, I ordered this computer in like July of 2020. So there wasn't really a whole lot, like there was no chips to be found or anything. Now I could probably get one and it wouldn't be as bad. But at the same time, I still don't want to spend a ton of money. Anyway, so I switched it back to GPU and it rendered fine. It took like 4 times as long because my graphics card's not great, but also that's not what graphics cards really are meant for. At the same time, that's exactly what they're meant for. So I was running a stress test on my computer and it didn't find anything. I ran it for about 6 hours, but the test was like, this could run for 24 hours. And then somebody on Reddit's like, yeah, you're completely overworking your CPU. And I'm like, well, I know, but I've been doing this for years and I've never had a problem with it. And this is the only thing I really do. I do streams and I do designs, and I'm not on it all day. I'm on it maybe a couple hours a day. So felt a little kind of sheepish about it, but I was like, fine, I'll just do renders with my GPU instead, and that'll be fine. But at the same time, I'm like, this is, I don't know. Anyway, so in rebooting everything, I updated, I rolled back Studio a couple versions, and I had to upgrade my video card, even though it wasn't really being used. And then did a Windows update, and then ran this overclocking stress test, which is weird. It does it makes it go through looking for, it's part of a software that helps look for prime numbers, like crowdsourced prime number lookup. And it's like, or you could use it to stress test your machine. It basically starts a bunch of threads and does a bunch of work against the number of processors that you have. So like one worker thread per process, and then it just tasks it. And then it keeps ramping up the number of tasks that it does until it gets to a point where it can't handle it anymore, right? And then it says, yep, right about here is where you're going to have problems. Which is fine, except when I'm running Studio, I don't know that it does that. Like, I don't have a thing in Studio that says, be careful, you're getting close to that temperature limit or whatever limit. Like, I don't have the tools and the widgets to show me all this information while I'm working. I'm not like a hardcore gamer that has that all set up, right? So now I have to, really? Times 3. Yeah, that's what I thought. Ooh, there's a lot. Oh, hey there. Hi there, ho there. Times 7. So that's why I was a little late, because in rebooting everything, the sound got all messed up, and I wasn't sure I had the right versions of OBS, and I got caught looking at something else, trying to get a better like overlay maybe for Sunday, since Sunday's Easter, and I really doubt anybody's going to be wanting to watch stuff, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But yeah, so there's that. So that's why I was a little late today. And there's one of your leaves, and I think this said it was something. So yeah, there's one. These are all going to be kind of pushed off to the side, I think, because you kind of have to build them stem by stem like this. So Sunday, if anybody wants, I know that a lot of people will be with family, doing Easter egg hunts and opening their baskets if they've got little kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will be streaming at 10 in the morning, as always, and I will be doing Easter sets. I've got 2 Easter sets that I can work on. I might have Beth with me. We'll have to see. I almost had her in here tonight, but she decided she didn't wanna. So yeah, these flower sets are always really great use of pieces, some great NPU, as it were. It's fun to kind of have these all over the house and be able to have them all over the house. It's kind of, you know, it doesn't necessarily feel like Lego when you've just got flowers everywhere, and the only thing you got to do is dust it every couple weeks. All right, so there's your 3 stems of something. This isn't Queen Anne's lace. I think this is just the flowers for something, or the greenery for something, because I think you put stuff on it, maybe. I don't know. So the frogs are great. And I was using the, can't remember where, I think there were a couple frogs in the succulents. There were definitely frogs in the bonsai tree. And speaking of the bonsai tree, I was going to replace all the greenery with the cherry blossoms. It's been set as greenery for ever. And I was like, you know, I'd like to change that. So I might take it all apart and do the greenery, or the cherry blossoms. I figured that'd be a nice spring thing to have in next to my desk for a while. And these, I don't know where they're going to go yet. I've got a glass vase kind of thing that's holding up the daffodils, and I might just combine them in a vase with whatever I come up with, whatever this turns into. The houses was sold out. Yeah, see, all I want is the houses. You're gonna get this set, but this set's only like $100 maybe. Wasn't the houses you had to spend $250 to get it? I just want the house. Like, there wasn't $250 worth of stuff that I wanted this time around. Like, I think even if you bought all the Indiana Jones sets, you may have got to $100. It was kind of crazy. One of the sets, okay. I couldn't, like, having just bought Rivendell, and I know that on May the 4th I'm going to, or May 1st, I'm probably going to get a bunch of sets. I think I'm going to, I was holding off on this, but I really wanted that house set, man. So I'm just going to have to see if I can get pieces and get it off of Bricklink or something later. Or shop it, source the parts myself. There's been a lot of images of the UCS X-Wing coming out lately. I'm glad I have one already because I don't really want another one. And this one doesn't look like it's all... It's fine, but it doesn't look like markedly different from the one I've got. I mean, the one I've got is a little older and the pieces are more angular, but... You know, it's not a ton better. I have to mute my phone. Sorry, hang on a second. Forgot that this was on. Let me get a nice... This is lovely. Oh, and we got white bulbs. Those white light bulb things. So that's very nice. I don't have a UCS X-Wing yet. Looks like it has a little better... Yeah. I mean, the first UCS X-Wing came out 20-some years ago. And there's pieces that don't exist. That didn't exist then. So this one's going to be a little cleaner. The angles will be a little nicer. That kind of stuff. But I think overall, it's... Not that it'll improve that much. The mechanics to open the wings are still the same and whatnot. I'm saving up for, between me and you, I'm going to save up for the UCS, and I will try to sell some more stuff. Like, I think I may end up selling the pyramid. I don't really care about the pyramid. It's fine. I don't know what else I'd be willing to get rid of. To get the Venator, the UCS Venator that's coming out. And I don't know if it's coming out May 1st or if it's coming out in August. But, yeah, I want to do that. Because I was telling Johnny I never got a large Star Destroyer before, so I think that would be... Hey, buddy, where are you going? Finally get one of those, because I've never really wanted one. With my bendy SD. Yeah, I'm okay with the Clone Wars. Like, I'm fine with the Clone Wars. I think the Venator is a great ship in general. And I think I'm a little tired of Star Destroyers, even though the Venator is basically a Star Destroyer. But I think I just like the idea of a Star Destroyer that looks slightly different. I love the dual observation bridges, the big stripe down the front where the hangar is, like that big tail fin off the back separating the engines. It's just very cool. It's one of my favorite parts about the Clone Wars. Like, I got real tired of the gunships. They're very cool ships. I'm tired of seeing them. They're everywhere. They're ubiquitous to the Clone Wars. I'm sad that like the V19 didn't get more play, but apparently in universe it was, which is a weird thing to say. Well, in universe it was a clunky, expensive to upkeep ship. And I'm like, right, but that doesn't explain why we don't see any of it in toy form or whatever. And they're coming out with another one, slightly different colors. Another gunship? Oh, yeah. They are. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh, good. Another gunship. Meanwhile, we don't have a GR-75. Meanwhile, we don't have a Nebulon frigate. Meanwhile, we don't have a Lucre-class battleship. Meanwhile, we don't have any of the large CIS ships. Meanwhile, we don't have a Mon Calamari cruiser. Like, it's just 5. So times 5 times 2, which is basically all the rest of these. Ugh, I'm going to be here forever. So I don't know if you've seen, there's a, and I may have talked about this, there's a Lepin, I think it's Lepin, version that you can get. And there's a lady at my office who was in charge of, we have a little museum of medicine down in our lobby. And one of the exhibits, it was a little stand, it was like history of medicine in toys. Or maybe it was in science fiction. And she got the knockoff Nebulon B, and it's sizable. Like, if I got that, that would be the biggest starship. I mean, it's like, you know, I can't even show you how big it is. It's like this big, right? It's really big. And the detail's really, really nice on it. I'm sure the clutch power is terrible, and I'm sure that whatever excuse you have for not getting Lepin is, but the detail's really nice. So, she quit like a year ago, maybe, and that is still there, and I kind of want it, right? And I asked her about it, and yeah, I kind of want to get the instructions and then just part it out and get my own and make my own. And I'm sure that can be done. So yeah, so if you figure out a way to do that, let me know, because I might do it too. Oh, that's times 5. So, wow. So there's a lot of these. Put those together. There's one. But yeah, so she left the company, and before she left, I emailed her and I was like, so where did you get at first I was like, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was really upset that it wasn't a Lego thing, first of all, because, you know, purist or whatever. But so I emailed her and I was like, hey, I've got, you know, I wanted to find out about that. And I just said Lego ship that you put down in the thing. I was like, is that yours? Did you buy it somewhere? Blah, blah, blah. And she said, yeah, we bought it off Amazon or something. And my husband and I put it together. And I was like, oh, okay. And so, like, I didn't want to get too into it with her about it. But now I kind of want it now. But again, she hasn't been here in a while, and so I'm like, I emailed her boss, who's the head of this group. She's the director of, like, our knowledge center group, and they are in charge of the displays. And I was like, so, hey, what about that? And she's like, yeah, that's going to be returned to her when... Okay, so times 5, that's a lot. Okay, and then one goes on each. So they must still have contact information for her so they can return it to her, but I was kind of like, you know, if you can't get a hold of her, because I'm sure, like, they didn't buy it. I'm sure, like, her husband, like, they bought it and then the company paid her back for it because it was a display at the company. It's not like it was theirs and it was on loan or something, is my guess. But whatever. This is the only part I really don't like about doing these, is every time there's always one of these steps where you got to put flowers on these stems, and this my least favorite thing to do next to Technic bits in otherwise brick built sets is putting flowers together like this. So I have tomorrow off. Does anybody else have tomorrow off? Good Friday. I'm not a practicing religious person anymore, so it just feels like getting... Dusty Bricks, how's it going? Good to see you. Why is your name red? That's really weird. Usually it's gray, or people who have mod things are blue. Interesting. So yeah, I got tomorrow off, and then Beth took today off and did nothing but watch British TV. And then, so we got tomorrow off, and then we're not doing anything Sunday, really. He's gray. Interesting. Well, I'm also looking at it on OBS, so I don't know. Let me see what it looks like on this. It's a warning. No. Put user in timeout. I love it. Yeah, I don't know why it's red like that. I have tomorrow off, but only because I finished everything I needed to do. That's sucky when your job goes, yeah, you can have tomorrow off. You all done with your work? No, tomorrow's a major holiday. Yeah, but are you done with all your work? So how you doing, Dusty? How you going? Oh, banks are open tomorrow? I thought banks would be the first thing closed. My friends get on me because I work at a service organization that does a lot of lobbying and service stuff for physicians, and we got a lot of holidays, and we kind of just get time off for stuff usually because it's very low key. But Beth especially, she's like, did you get that day off? Is it stupid you get a day off? Pretty much the only day everything's closed. Cool. Yeah, what is it? Like 10 in the morning there? What part of Australia are you in? So that's pretty, and I'm guessing we stick those onto... Oh no, we're going to make... So there's some leftover bits. Times 12 times 2. My goodness. Cool. Cool. I thought Good Friday was a federal holiday. Maybe it's not. One of those where it's like, well, it's the spring holiday and we can't take Sunday off because it's already off. So everybody gets Friday off. Thought it was a bank holiday. In fact, I thought the markets were closed tomorrow. They not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm trying to remember when I worked in the day trading business, and 3, 4. I really thought we got Good Friday off, but again, that was years ago, many years. Is everybody caught up on Mando? Realize we've had a Mandalorian episode since I saw y'all last. Anna Picard. So, anybody who hasn't seen it, who's going to see it, speak now or forever hold your spoilers. And I will take a swig of beverage. What are you working on, Dusty? Were you building any mocks? You sorting? You got any sets you're gonna stream about? Or the like? I'm assuming I've got 12 left here. I'm just building. Is there a hockey game tonight? I think there is. I think the Avs are playing the Sharks again. Starting like right now. Just ran upstairs. Yes, last couple of episodes have been great. All right, so there we've got... This is like baby's breath or something. So I don't know what that's... But we're one bag down. 840. We should be able to get through all these bags. These bags. So this was... Let's go back up here. And this was... leather leaf fern. So I'm guessing that's leather leaf fern. And this is cow parsley and Queen Anne's lace. I think. One of these two. So this is your first bag of flowers. Ta-da. I bring you flowers. Don't say I never got anything for you. I'm going to go grab a vase real quick. So I can put these in. Alright, so I got a vase here. Hopefully it's not too big. It might be too big. Yeah, that might be too big. But there's the vase. Yeah, a Lego vase would be great. The orchids had one. And or not orchids. Are there orchids? Yeah, the orchids had one, and then the Bird of Paradise had a built one. Hey, Lurker Gang. Welcome, Lurker Gang. Everybody get in on this. Okay, so this is 2. All right. So this next one is going to be cornflower and lavender. So here we go. All right, so for Mando, I will say that this last Cameo A Go-Go episode that we just had was a little much in terms of the cameos. Turn that down a bit. I feel like I'm shouting. This mic should be able to pick up most things, and I don't need the music to be that loud. So what do you guys think of it? I'm not saying the cameos themselves were bad. I just felt like there were a lot. Like, it's one thing to have the star of the show and then a bunch of people that you don't really know are in it. Oh, thanks, Dusty. Yeah, I appreciate that. So, if you didn't know, and if you don't watch, and if you don't care, the last episode of Mandalorian, which already has Pedro Pascal and Katie Sackhoff in it. And then, like, first season had Bill Burr for a while, and trying to think of some other cameos that it had in it. Who's Clancy Brown was in it for a hot second. Grief Karga is... I can never remember that dude's name. Was in Rocky and Arrested Development. Have not seen any episodes yet. What's up, Frankie? Oh, it's just cameos. This has nothing to do with with the story. So I'll wave when I'm done. I'm on mute for you. Let me just say the cameos were a bit much. Like, I didn't mind the people that were in it. It's just Carl Weathers. Thank you. I can never remember his name. He was so funny in Arrested Development. Don't throw that away. You could turn that into a soup. Yeah, just a little much this time, I feel like. Just a little much. And the story itself was kind of like, okay, this is whatever, you know. So let's see, what newish pieces? We got these in purple. That's actually purple. I know it looks blue on the screen. I've got to calibrate my screen a little better. This is actually blue. That looks light blue. These are not new. Those are not new. Those are not new. These are not new. These are not new. This is kind of newish. It's just a purple or a lavender head without any markings on it. So that's kind of new. We got more of these plant pieces again. I haven't seen this. Blue claws. That's pretty cool. And then I think I haven't seen these, but that doesn't mean they don't exist somewhere else. They may have been in another plant. So, anywho's it's they I just feel like this last episode was maybe a little not filler, but like it's hard to describe. Like I enjoyed watching it, just felt a little like if it didn't happen, it would probably be okay. Except for like one exception, which was one of the main plot points, which I won't talk about because Frankie's not seen it yet. The main thing that happened, like toward the end, I was like, oh, this is new. This is what I was going to show. Just say I have spoken, right? Those in purple too. Again, this is purple and not whatever the screen looks like right there. It looks right on that screen. It doesn't look right on this. The camera is a little off. So these are cool. And then Picard was good. Picard got all the people back together. So everybody from TNG is now in the same ship. We're all happy about that now. Data and Worf and Geordi and Crusher and Deanna and Will and Picard. Notable exceptions that are missing are Dr. Pulaski and Will Wheaton and yeah, so there was an Easter egg from every movie in that last episode. Which of Picard or Mando? I agree, Johnny. It doesn't seem to know where it's going, but it seems to not like it just wants. It feels like it just wants to get from point A to point B, right? Like there's no. It's like we do a scene and now the heroes go to this other place, and then they do a scene and then they go to this other place. And they just go through the motions of being in that place and doing the thing, and then they go to another place. There's no, like... It just doesn't feel real gradual or organic. While they're there, there's some fun stuff. But it's not all... It's not all great. And I think the first season was like that a little... But because it was so new and because it felt a little smaller, it wasn't that big of a deal. But now they're like this is the Bo-Katan story now. It's not Mando's story anymore. But the show is called The Mandalorian. It's not called Din Djarin. It could be that she's the Mandalorian that they're talking about. It's one of those things where you're like, maybe, you know. Oh, this is clever. Let me see what we're doing here. It's pretty cute. That's a pedantic answer, though. You know, doing a show where 3 seasons in, suddenly a new character shows up. Alright, so these don't look like the same green, but they look like it in the instructions. So I'm going with it. What's up, Cliff? Clicking Cliff. How's it going, yo? They do call him the Mandalorian. That's true. And Cliff's color is like a teal, like a turquoise. It's really interesting. All right, so there's one of your flowers. It's so delicate. Look how delicate. Put him in there. Yeah, I may need to get a smaller vase than this. So we'll see. So did everybody. Quill called him that too. He called him, "You are the great Mandalorian. You are the great Mandalorians." So how you doing, Cliff? What's shaking? And we got gold. So I'm a little stumped with what I'm supposed to build. You're gonna buy some flowers. You're gonna buy these flowers, Scott? You're gonna get some actual flowers. Because, you know, gotta ask. So I'm having a hard time figuring out what to build for our next monthly build challenge. We got gold nano figures and the 1x1 or the 2x2 round bricks with the spikes on the outside in gold. And then trying to remember the 1x1 bricks with like the ornate curl thing on the front, like the building piece, the top of the columns. I think they're called colonnades. Anyway, like I have no idea what I'm gonna. I thought I was gonna do a Doctor Who thing, so I got my Matt Smith and my Clara figure, and I built like a I built like a tan kind of plate thing that I was gonna put them on, and I thought maybe they'd be running out of a building and carrying the statue, and like behind them there were these tentacles going after them. And it was like, that seems like not Doctor Who-ish. That seems like Indiana Jones. Like, it didn't have to be Doctor Who. So I was kind of second guessing what I was going to be doing then. And I was like, yeah, but I really like this platform that I built. And so, I don't know. But it's hard to do. I'm trying to think of something where I would use those gold pieces, but still tell like a Doctor Who-ish story. But half the time, all he's doing is using his Sonic to like make a computer do something. Might just write my name in the sand. Okay. Oh, that's right. Are you still in Hawaii, Scott? It's got to be like, I mean, it's like 5 in the afternoon there, 4 in the afternoon. How many of these am I doing? 12? Good gravy. Y'all give Scott some crap. He's in Hawaii and he's watching a stream, a Lego stream. Should be on the beach. At least say you're on your phone or something on the beach. Okay, I'll just kind of rotate. Oh, you're back. Okay. Did you have a good time? You were on the main island? You were on the big island? Pictures look like you had a good time. purple heads on top with another purple flower. How many of these are we doing? ×2. Oh, you son of a... Okay, so... Nice. Yeah, we were there last year, and we went to Maui, and that was super great. Like, one of the better trips I've ever had. So I'm going to do this again. There's your flower. Do 2 of those, because I missed the first time it said do this twice. Glad you got to go. Everybody should be able to go once, at least. If you haven't been to Hawaii, you should go. Just, you know, just go. It's just that easy. Just go. Stop what you're doing and go. Howdy, Kodiak. Oh. How are you this wonderful evening? Kodiak, you work in studio a lot. You ever have a studio lock up on you because you were rendering off the CPU instead of the GPU, and you totally ruined your CPU? Have you ever broke your computer because you're trying to make a digital image of a Lego set? I have. Any Tom Papa fans out there? Found the one Lego store on the island. Oh, cool. Well, I'm making hootsput and kielbasa for the knife. I'm guessing knife is your person, and that was a typo. I have horror stories about what I've put studio through given the animation. Oh yeah, I don't even want to try the animation. So anyway, do you remember, like, maybe a little recently, like maybe a year or so ago or something, there was a thing where you couldn't render off non-binary wife? You know what? Fantastic. I've never heard that before. I love it. Where they were saying if you're rendering off your GPU, it was going to cause a problem and to render to your CPU, like, for a little bit until they fixed it, I guess. Do you remember that at all? I vaguely remember that. And so, of course, I left mine on CPU forever, and now it locks Windows up when I run it, if I try to render it off that. So I moved it back to GPU, and it's fine. It works, but it takes like 4 times as long. So even I was like trying to do a microfighter, and it took like 20 minutes versus like 5 minutes on the CPU. But I also don't want my CPU to blow out. Do you remember that? Yeah. And so now everyone's like, what are you doing running it on your CPU? I'm like, because they told us to. I need to get a better video card, but I'm loath to do it because a video card of any worth is going to be minimum $300. I mean, you can get, like, I've got one and it works, and those are like $70 to $100, but like any decent one starts at $300. But this is the only thing I need it for, is to render stuff. Render unto Caesar. What is Caesar's? That's probably what I need to do. Like, I'll like build while I'm supposed to be working, and then I'll run in here and I'll render it. Save it. It goes up to Google. I pull it down off Google onto this computer, and then render it over here because this is the better computer, and I'm not using my work computer to render stuff. And then once it's rendered, it's saved to a location where I can then like do socials and stuff with it. You'd have to queue the render, wouldn't you? Because how do you render something? Like, the project has to be up, and then you go to render. Are you able to pick? Like, I'm confused about what you're doing. While it's rendering, can you go back to Studio and, like, go on to a different, like, a blank project? I wasn't aware you could do that. There are you two, whatever these are, lavenders. Okay, we'll add those to the pot. Here's our dish of flowers so far. I'd hate to start it going to bed and then like... Alright, so I'm doing ×2 on this. And then wake up and it aired out like 5 minutes after you left it. It's like, oh man. Oh yeah, you're doing animation and stuff. You're rendering your bear and other projects. Is this angled or... I think it's slightly angled. Let's do that. Yeah, I would be so mad if I woke up and it's like, I'm sorry, I only got 5% and then I had to shut down. But why? Should have an alarm on your phone. Good morning, Dave. Your project did not render. I saw, like, I'm this close to getting involved to like learning Blender. I saw the most beautiful, and I think it was just on Instagram, and I forget whose account it was, but it was the most beautiful animated. It's one of those where it's just the animation of the set coming together. Like somebody didn't make a cartoon or anything, but it's a render of the A-frame house coming together, and it was amazing. Like every piece sort of folded in from the last one, and they were all glistening, and there was like a very nice background, like it was being done on a table, and the camera was panning all over the place, and I was like, this is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm a little jealous because I tried to make a spinning, I just had a microfighter doing the whatever Studio can do, the spinny fall into place pieces. That took like all weekend, and that was like 80 pieces. I cannot imagine. First of all, you have to build it. You had to build the set in a digital format first before you can do that. So there's that. That probably took weeks. And the A-frame just came out. Those are the people that have like computer, graphic jobs and stuff. And are probably like, oh, I can do this weekend. This will be a lark of a project. No biggie. I'll do that on my lunch break. Meanwhile, I'm over here going, oh, it's very pretty. It's so pretty. What else is going on? But because I was having problems with Studio, I found a new community on Reddit that was very quick to tell me what an idiot I was. So I was nice enough to at least post something in there later. I was like, well, here's some of my work. Don't kill me. Don't hurt me. I haven't checked to see if it got any reception or not. Okay. Need 2 of these. I need brown heads and blue flowers. For what I'm doing is when it's rendered 90 plus images and for some reason one of them had messed up lighting. Huh. Yeah, and you probably don't notice it until you're going through the whole thing and you're like, wait a minute, that one was off. What was that? It's like one keyframe in the animation is wonky. Like, that doesn't look right. it's supposed to be a little bit further out, but whatever. And then we got to do this times 2. So what is everybody's plans for Sunday? What you all doing on Sunday? Anything? I mean, I know Sunday's kind of a it's not a very secular holiday, but anybody doing anything fun? Family dinner? Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with Studio 2. Like, I spend all my time in it, and at the same time I'm like, don't do that. Family coming over, usual stuff. What's on Sunday? Nothing. Ostara for you pagans out there. We celebrated Ostara for a great many years. My ex-wife is pagan and Wiccan at the time. So there was a lot of going to Natural Magic, which is a store here in Austin, and buying sage and dragon's blood and all kinds of stuff that you smudge over your face and stuff. Yeah, right. It's also, I love the thread going around that's, I think it's a full moon this Sunday. You know what that means. Zombie Jesus, zombie Jesus. Cock a gun. I love posting zombie Jesus stuff on Facebook. That's my love language. My brother and I both get a kick out of it. So I don't know why this connection is not great. I don't know why it makes you put that on first and then these. It gets all wobbly. Come on, designer dude who had glasses, who looked like a fun guy. Why'd you make me do this? So I have a good Jewish joke for you. Although, if you're not Jewish, you may not get it. So, usually Easter, around Easter time, is roughly the same time as Passover. But again, it's all based off the Jewish calendar. Oh, but I've got to do this times 2 because there's 2 of these. Bullet to the brain. Okay, so hang on. Let's do this again. So all the Seder jokes. The Seder is the dinner the night before Passover. It's the first night of Passover. Beth is Jewish, as in her mom is Jewish, but she was born Methodist. Because her mom converted to Methodist before she was born. But her family's Jewish. So she went back to a synagogue here and was going to take some tests and convert back to Judaism, basically. And but she stopped because there was a book report, and she's like, I don't want to study. I'm like, okay, so you're not Jewish? She's like, I'm Jewish when it matters. I'm like, okay. I don't know that that's how that works, but whatever. So now she's Jewish. But we've had, like, she'll do Hanukkah, and which is weird because Hanukkah is not one of the high holidays. And as a Gentile, I even know this, but she doesn't do any of the other holidays really. But we used to, before the pandemic, we had a friend who's Jewish who had these great kind of irreverent Seder dinners. And like the prayers were always like from the book of Bob Marley, and you know, and it's a great fun night. Everybody, you bring wine, everybody brings some food. And the thing is, you show up and you can't eat for like 3 hours. You've got to go through the ceremony first, which is a lot of wine drinking. So everybody's getting faced, and then you eat. And so it gets real loud and irreverent. It's a lot of fun. I was going somewhere with this, and now I can't remember what it was. So I'm going to have to give away the punchline. I'm going to try to do this without giving away the punchline. So during the prayers, there's a lot of what it means to be Jewish and where a lot of the stuff that they do comes from and that kind of thing. And so I heard this joke today. It's a great joke. It's basically this. There's a Jewish guy who lives in Britain, and he's done something amazing in medicine or something, or he's a musician or whatever, but he's set to be knighted, right? So here's some pretty, these are actually blue. This top bit is purple, but you can't really see it. It's not as purple on my camera as it is the screen. So, wow, there's a lot left over. Did I miss something? I feel like I missed something. Oh, I wasn't done. There's a whole step here. Nice. So he is a Jewish guy who's done some really good work somehow. And he's going before now the king, right? Not the queen. He's going before the king to get knighted. And he has to memorize some Latin beforehand to respond to whatever, the ceremony calls for. So he learns all this Latin and goes before the king on the appointed day, and the king shows up, and there's a whole pomp and circumstance and rigmarole and everything. And so they get to the knighting portion of it, and the king has his sword, and he recites the thing he's supposed to recite, and the Jewish guy is supposed to respond in his Latin, but he's very flummoxed and does not remember what the Latin is. So here's your flowers, right? He remembers what was being said. He remembers the response, like the typical, like the translation of the response, but he doesn't remember the actual response in Latin. Got some good parts here, extra. So he responds the only way he knows how, which is a different language, which is Hebrew, and he responds thusly in Hebrew, and I forget what the actual phrase is, but I'm thinking it's a prayer for Seder, because then there's a pause, and the king looks around and says, "Why is this night different?" Now, it's funny, and I have to explain it, because part of the prayers on Seder is them explaining why is this night different. So, I heard it on TikTok, and I laughed, and I went and told Beth, and she went, "What?" Oh, right. So I was like, that's funny. Come on. Why is this night different? All right, bag 3. Bag 3. We're doing, hey, lupin. Originally native to North America. This is pretty. Lupins also thrive in the wild and Mediterranean in Europe. Wildly diverse in color. Their ombre spikes climb tall to attract pollinators' attention and ours. Yeah, cool. All right. So we got 2 of these things. So I think we'll be right. May go a little past 10 o'clock, just a heads up. But I don't work tomorrow, so I know some of y'all do. Try to get through this as fast as possible. So for Sunday, I'm going to try to get Beth to build with me because I've got these dudes. I think this would be a good build for Sunday, don't you? Get Beth to build this one and I'll build this one. I'm going to build the rabbit and then I'm going to take it apart and build the cockatoo. I think it'd be perfect. So we're doing 2 of these. So this is times 2. Don't let me screw this up. I have the big one. My wife did it. You have the bunny. Any new pieces in here? Not really. These kind of maybe in that like super awesome green color. I don't have many of these Travis bricks in that like spring green color, so that's cool. Pirate hats in colors I think we got before, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go back and check. I think one of the early ones we got that, so. And then a lot of these hollow dots. I'm glad I grabbed them. I kind of grabbed them last minute last time we were at the store, so I'm kind of glad I did that. I have an unusual amount. I think I have more Easter sets than I do Christmas sets for some weird reason. They're just like, yeah, Easter. Like, okay. Yes, I'll buy bunnies and flowers and things. It's odd that we get so many Easter sets. It's a spring thing, I get it. We don't equally get like a fall. I guess we get Halloween. We get some Halloween sets and maybe a turkey. But there's no like fall sets really. Like we don't get trees or whatever. Oh, times 2, times 2. So, I'm going to do that again. Pinch again. And I feel like I need to bring these out more often during Easter and display them. But I don't know to what end, because I don't have kids who live with me anymore, and we're not going to have a whole lot of company over or anything, so I just have them. Probably just going to put them in a box marked Easter Lego and put them in storage somewhere. That's it, times 2, times 2. Okay, there it is. All right, times 2. So, and then in between, oh, nope, we got to do one of these. Oh, that was before. Okay, to keep that on there. Let's see, what else is going on? I'm trying to think of any other projects. So I was going through my list of other things that I want to work on, and I forgot for a hot second that I was doing that I wanted to do a big Q2 stadium. I totally forgot that I was doing that. So I'm trying to figure out how to kind of get back into that, because between our next project support, designing Mars base thing, and then doing microfighters and doing Horizon Zero Dawn animals to all get ready for conventions. I don't know when I'm going to do that. Okay, so 2 again. One of those has to kind of give. One will be done soon, whether I want it to be done or not. And then I can work on the other one. Other ones. It's a matter of getting it done. So, because I also had an idea that I wanted to kind of do, I was thinking about applying for the Bricklink Designer Program, and I kind of wanted to do a peregrine falcon, like the birds sets, right? Something akin to the owl, but instead of like it being in flight, it would be one where it's perched, and it's just a peregrine falcon, maybe, you know, yay big. I don't know how, so I want to get the parrot and see how big that is and kind of compare it. I want to do about that size, because peregrine falcons aren't big. They're among some of the smaller birds of prey. But I really like, I grew up with being a season ticket holder with my family for the Air Force Academy games in Colorado Springs. And so I was kind of predisposed to just really liking that bird. It's the only performing mascot in the NCAA. Because at halftime, they'd have him come down and, you know, chase a lure and everything. Get the brick, what's up? Has entered the chat. So I thought about doing that. Just kind of its body, kind of, you know, nice legs and talons, and then making sure its head could move maybe. Peregrines have like really black and white striped feathers on their chests, and then darker. So I think it'd be a nice contrast because then they're very dark on their backs and on their wings. Get the brick, how you doing today, man? How's it going? Where are you hailing in from? What are you working on? What are you excited for? You got any Easter plans? If you celebrate that. Because not everybody does. And that's okay. We are building flowers. If you didn't catch on to that, we're building all these flowers. It is flower time because it is springtime. So yeah, I thought about doing that. And then I thought, you know, I don't know that I've got time along with all the other stuff that I'm doing. So, like, I feel like maybe my lug monthly challenge may have to take a back seat for a month. I don't know. Just so I could get stuff done. It would also help, honestly, if I would stop playing video games. Like, I know that's not going to happen, but it would probably help. And I don't see that help. I don't see that stopping anytime soon, especially since in like a couple weeks, just lurking. No plans for Easter. Right on. The DLC for Horizon comes out, as well as Jedi Survivor. So for the next like probably 3-4 months, maybe 3, I'm going to be absolutely useless when it comes to stuff. I'm pretty useless now. This is backwards. Like, I think you should put these on first. So that's what I'm going to do. I cannot wait for Jedi. I can't wait for both of those. Those are going to be super fun. But yeah, in the evenings, if it would help if I, instead of like, hey, work's over, I'm going to go play 2 hours worth of video games, I should come in here and do 2 hours worth of designing. So I don't feel so bad about not having stuff done. Like, I should have had the Mars base done by now. But I'm waiting on one of my stupid friends to get a design to me. He's like, oh, I'll draw something real quick. Of course he had. Oh, that reminds me. I'm just going to text him. Hey, did you get that drawing done yet? Might do that right now. So, drawing, huh? my oldest child just watched the last episode of Fringe and they're very upset. All right, apologies for that bad etiquette of checking my phone while on stream, but 8. I gotta do this 8. So I just had a, I don't know if this came up with the last stream. Being part of the Ambassador Network, you've got certain things that you have to do as being part of that group. And one of those things is making sure to report what your lug is doing. And, man, it's just everything's coming to pieces. For the past year, I've been reporting on, I've got to do this times 8 times 8. So 2, 5, 8. For the past year or more, I have been setting up reports for every, and this takes like 5 minutes. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a huge bit of my time or anything, but it's time. To report back to the LAN on each of our monthly meetings. Well, I've been informed that that's not something they care to have anymore. The monthly meeting reports. So, despite the fact that we get notifications saying, don't forget to fill out your report. And all it really is a little questionnaire, and it's like 5 questions, and it's like, how many people were there? What link did people use to get there? Did you use any support sets? What's up, Zisoo? How goes? So it's not like super important information, but at the same time, I'm like, I feel like this is what's being used to gauge how well your lug is doing and if you're going to be continuing to be listed as a lug or not, right? And they're like, no, just the year-end report is fine. But then the year-end report doesn't like ask, it's like, but we've had growth, right? We started the year with like 15 or 20 people per meeting. Now we're up to almost 40. Do you not want to see that? Is that not important? It's just kind of like, I don't know. But then finding out that I've spent the year doing it when I didn't need to is kind of like, really? These are all on the bottom. Naturally, I thought that. So how you been, Zisoo? How's things? Whose stream are you coming in from? I think, I missed a whole honkin' step. Let's fix that before I go any further. Zisoo, you're like on everybody's stream. Every time I go to a stream, you're there. You are the chatting glue that is holding the community together. So I got to do 24 of these. Okay. Oof. So there's 6. Yeah, I was kind of upset. Because by the same token, I keep asking questions on this forum that I'm not getting answers for, right? So I'm like, well, I didn't get an answer for it. I guess we'll just keep doing what we're doing. But then there's other forums, there's other posts that are like, don't just assume business as usual this year. Make an effort to, set a goal for yourself and do all this stuff. I'm like, okay, well, that's great. I would still like some answers to the questions that I've asked because I feel like if I don't get this information done right, we'll be excluded from processes or we'll miss out on programs or benefits or anything like that as a lug. So, oh, how is Mario? I think I probably need to go see that with my kid too. Although he's gonna be 19 soon and he's got a girlfriend, he can go see it. He can go see it by himself. All right, so how many of these do I have now? I have 4. Need to do 24 total. 8. 4, 8, 12. Right? 4, 8. 3 more. Don't think I have 3 more of these. Here we do. So that was frustrating, but kind of typical of the experience, I guess, overall. All right, am I short a leaf? Did I count this right? Ooh, and I hear thunder outside still. I'm wondering if... Yep, it was in one of the hats. Highly recommended for anybody who's any fond memories of Mario games. Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I did not like Mario games. It's fine. Like the nostalgia is there, and I liked Mario Kart, and I liked I don't think I played Dr. Mario all that much, and I like playing like Super Smash Brothers with Mario characters, but these say they do go under that lip. Okay. In terms of like playing Super Mario or, well, I guess Donkey Kong was okay. These need to go all the way in. I absolutely hate platform games. I just hate them. I hate working so hard to get to a certain place and then having failed because you timed a jump wrong. That absolutely grates my last nerve, and I can't stand it. And I don't know why. Like, I'm like not building in front of the camera. I'm so sorry. I don't know what the difference for me between like, hey, I got killed, not being able to fight very well. Like, I don't know how to... Like, I was playing Battlefront tonight, and I just kept getting worked no matter what I was doing. Like, I'm usually pretty good in Starfighter Assault, but even today I was just getting owned by everybody. I was getting frustrated. But the idea of just falling off a thing and dying is really... Like, I'm like, no, nope. Don't want to do that ever again. So I don't know. I'll probably still go see it. I know my son's a huge fan, so because I wasn't a huge platform fan, I was never like I wasn't a Contra fan or a Castlevania. I mean, I played all these games. I just wasn't like, oh, this is my favorite game. It's the best, whatever, you know. And Castlevania was a rad game. It also wasn't really predicated on you surviving a bunch of different jumps and dodges and stuff. You kind of had to know how to fight a little bit and, you know, time not being killed. So, I don't know. I don't know if I described that well. Yeah, I don't like the insta-death things kind of at all. Which is weird, because one of my favorite games for the Atari was Pitfall. Sort of like the epitome of insta-death. It wasn't really a platformer, it was a screen scroller, but like, you mistimed that jump, man. That alligator got you. That was it. Meanwhile, I just saw a TikTok where this young person, I say that because I'm old, was like, for you guys who are, you know, for the older gamers in the group, did y'all ever play Myst? Did you ever win? And everyone's like, no. Myst was a beautiful game, and it was slightly spooky and a little dumb, but it was beautiful. That's what we knew Myst was. Like the puzzles were both way too easy and at the same time impossibly hard. Oh, did I mess up something? Nope. Okay. You know what I really liked about Castlevania? The anime that was on Netflix. That was fun. That was really fun. It was funny and it was gory and the action was amazing, especially toward the end. Oof. Good stuff. Really, really liked that. And I knew just enough about the video game to know kind of what was going on, so I know there were a lot of liberties taken with it for storytelling purposes, but I enjoyed the crap out of it. And I watched it at the same time as I watched some other anime that was really good. And then I was watching the Pacific Rim Black, which was entertaining. I liked it. Wish it had more robots and kaiju. It was very interpersonal relationship stuff, but whatever. But then there was another one. The anime came out at the same time as this one, like the Hall of Zeus or something, right? It was supposed to be like a mythological. Okay, shoo. I was like, what? It was a mythological thing. And the animation was terrible. Like, I was really excited for it because I'm like, this is going to be great. This looks like Castlevania, but it's got classic Greek myth. This is like a win-win. And then I watched it, was like, oh god, this is, yeah, it's not good. Yeah, Alucard was great, Dracula was great. I thought everybody had a good character bit. I loved forget his name, but it was the old, I forget, I was gonna say the old British dude, but it was like the mage bard character or whatever. He was fantastic. I really liked him. I just don't remember his name. His voice was amazing. All right, we've got 20 minutes to go, and I've got one bag left, so we're going to push on. But here's your, whatever these are, lupins, right? Those are very pretty with those pirate hats in different colors. Very nice. This is a lot more on the pink side than this bluish contrast, or this bluish calibration is showing, so apologies for that. Some extra pieces, and last bag. So this last one, by Missy, take care, is called Larkspur and Jerby Daisy. Larkspur is or Gerbera Daisy. So Larkspur is a place in Colorado where I grew up that had the Colorado Renaissance Festival was in Larkspur. And I was a performer at the Colorado Renaissance Festival. Larkspur is south of Denver, in an area that's probably built up a little bit, just north of like Castle Rock. And it was fun. But if you've been to the Texas one, it's very, very large, like wide open space kind of thing, very flat, very green. The one in Colorado is basically on the side of a mountain. Not really a mountain, but like the foothills. And it's very hilly and dusty. So at the end of the weekend, we're all blowing our noses and just black dust, snot coming out because it was very dusty. So you do 7 weeks of that, 6 weeks, whatever it is. And so are we doing this 3 times or this is just a 1? Okay, this is just the 1. But let's look at these pieces. So I don't have green baskets. These would be great for a farmer's market. Oh my goodness, to get a ton of these, fill them with fruit. I think these were used in previous flowers. These green steering wheels, so I don't think those are too new. That's a newish color for me in that piece. So is that like a powder blue head? We got these in something. The orange things were in the dried center piece bit. These two are, I think, new pieces for me. And I think that's it. Dark gray. Fantastic. Those. What did you guys flood? Sorry, I didn't see that till now. No, we got a lot of rain. Yeah, we didn't get a lot of rain. We got a lot of rain, but we didn't flood. And luckily no like major wind events or anything like that. So we're okay. Just a lot of rain today. Probably about 2 inches. And then it's supposed to be raining like all week. So today and tomorrow. I'm supposed to go see a soccer game tomorrow, and I don't know if it's going to be going on because it's a little late. Or it might be a little wet, so we'll have to see. Yeah, Frankie lives the opposite side of town from me, but the town we both live in, you can get across the whole thing in like 10, 15 minutes. It's not a huge town. It's like 80,000, 90,000 people. It's a burg. It's a burb of Austin. To the north. A lot of thunder and not a lot of lightning. Not a lot of wind events, like I said. Just kind of constant rain. Off and on. Oh, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like I'm not paying attention. And the instructions don't make those look like... Ooh, where are those? Okay, so we got green sausages too. There you go. I think that's the big sell for this set is the green sausages. So we get 6 of these. Great use of these. Frankie, do you have anything built for your model next week? You got any ideas of what you're doing? I am El Stumpo. I had an idea, but the more I thought about it, I like overthought the characters in mine. I'm like, Mike, those characters would never do that. Oh, these are newish too. Like I haven't seen these sort of light lavender petal pieces. Where are you from, Get the Brick? What part of the world are you coming in from? Unless you're unfortunately part of our lug and I don't recognize your username, that would be sad, and I apologize. Southeast Texas, okay. Southeast Texas. I think everybody's been getting like some bad weather here lately. It's not. Oh, you're in Houston Brick Club. Cool. Times 3. Yeah, we didn't get it too bad here. I don't know about the rest of Austin. I've got coworkers all over, like East Austin and South Austin, and nobody really said they got anything really bad. So I think we're okay. I don't know about north of here, like Waco or Killeen or anything. I have to check in with those folks. Yeah, you're in Chicago, right, Johnny? Thank you all going to work on it this weekend. Oh, you're going to work on your thing this weekend? Yes. Oh, Pittsburgh. That's right. Sorry. I don't know what. Oh. I have a bone to pick with you about your hockey team. By the by. You stupid Sidney Crosby. No, it's fine. Sidney's fine. He's only one of the best players in the history of whatever. Did I tell you about me being like a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan when I was a kid? Like for some reason growing up in Denver, I was a Broncos fan, but I was also, for whatever reason, a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. No idea why. Like I had a Lynn Swann jersey and I had Pittsburgh Steeler PJs and not a clue. I think it's because I liked Lynn Swann because I was a big fan of wide receivers. And he was, at the time, one of the best. So I was like, yeah, I'll root for the Steelers. Why not? That sounds right. Pittsburgh. Kodiak's in Utah. You're in Pittsburgh. Got 2 people from Texas, 3 people from Texas. Zissou, where are you from? Dusty's from Australia. East Australia. That could be, thousands of miles. But I don't want to pry too much. What's your address? I'm never going to remember any of this, and I'm very sorry. I've only got room in my head for, 7 things, and I would have to lose the lyrics to the Mask cartoon theme song in order to remember any of this. So I'll just keep asking it. So another TikTok today where somebody was like, cartoon theme songs that go too hard, and it was SWAT Cats. I'm like, oh my god, SWAT Cats, yes. That show was amazing. Okay, this is looking very nice so far. So I think you might be able to use these pieces as like water cans, but I almost feel like the only thing that people are going to use them for is plants. So all right, because I don't know how much of a delay there is in chat, I'm going to ask if everybody's excited to see... so we already talked about Mario. Is everybody excited to see Guardians? Are we all okay to see, who's it, Rocket die? Or whoever... Somebody's going to die. Somebody's on a table with tubes and Quill isn't happy. That's all I know. Oh, and then these things. I'm like that with DC. Like, I want to see Shazam because the first one was kind of fun, but I don't know that I want to see it enough to go to the theater to see it. So I'll wait till it hits HBO. I didn't see Black Adam at all. I had friends who saw it and they're like, do not see this. It is not good. So they saved me a little bit with that. Might do that one of these days when it's like a Sunday afternoon and I don't really want to turn on Lord of the Rings or something, but I'm sorting or something and like, well, I'll put something on. It's usually Lord of the Rings. I don't know why I would ever not want to watch Lord of the Rings. Lot of what drafted? Oh, the green parts. What did you guys end up drafting? I forgot. I thought it was a tiger. Didn't you guys do the tiger? I could look. I think I have Discord open. Okay, that's done. We've got one of these and one of these. I was kind of bummed I didn't get to go do that. What was I doing last week? I was somewhere. I couldn't make it. What the what? I have no idea how this connects. Oh, yeah, I do. That is really weird. Okay. And the other one goes the other way. Okay, very nice. And we've got this one with these two. I almost feel like anymore, I just want to do drafts, bricklink orders, and bulk orders. Like I feel like I'm building so many of my own things that buying sets just to have sets is kind of getting in the way. So there's that. Like I still enjoy doing this, but it's like, where do I put this now? Earth. All right, big old sunflower looking thing. One of two. I finally gave up on a project that I had sitting over on a table over here. So a long time ago, I wanted to do a scene from a Star Wars radio drama in which Luke and his friend Wendy were in a T-16 Skyhopper racing their friend Fixer through through Beggar's Canyon. And Luke won, but they had to thread the stone needle. They took a shortcut and they went through this rock formation called the Stone Needle. And if you took this shortcut, you'd probably win the race, but nobody ever really survived it because it was so narrow and they had to get their T-16 through it. And so, Bluegrass Bricks, how's it going? City's Farmers Market van, that's right. How you doing, Bluegrass? I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Okay, so like this times 2. You have to do this right because they're facing a certain direction. Oh, and it doesn't really matter what direction they're facing according to the directions. But they have to be like flat and up. Okay. So I had this idea where I was going to build this big old Beggar's Canyon mock and have a T-16 flying through it and have its wing clip off one side of the stone needle and have smoke and sparks and pieces of the ship flying off. And it was going to be this big display, right? And the more I thought about it, there was like going to be almost no fun aspect to the model at all. It was going to be just one ship and a big old mess of gradiator springs. How many of these do I need? 500. 5. God, I need 22. Good gravy. It was going to be this big canyon thing with like tan and then dark tan and then nougat and then orange, right? Like a nice canyon thing. Most of it was going to be the orange, right? Just a little bit tan and dark tan or whatever at the bottom. And then, but that was it. Just canyon and then one ship plowing through this basically Wile E. Coyote looking setup. And then I realized that I don't know how to make canyons at that scale, and I didn't have a whole lot of pieces to do it, and so I could order some. So I got a bag of like 3,000 2x2 dark orange bricks from a lug bulk order. And even after that, I'm like, well, now I still don't have enough tan, and I don't have enough dark tan, and and I'm just like, never mind. So I was like, I'll do a smaller version of it, maybe just a little thing, maybe just like 2 base plates. And even then, I'm like, eh. So it's been sitting there for like a year. So finally, I took it all apart today, and I just put the T-16 over on the shelf with all the other Star Wars sets, because I was like, well, I still like the ship. The ship's still cool. All right, do I have... I need 22. You're collecting orange. So now I still need orange, I think, for... I'm going to do like some canyon-esque looking things for all the Horizon Zero Dawn stuff. That's still going to need canyon-y looking setups, because I want to do one big... I haven't learned my lesson. I'm going to do one big scene with all the machines on it. But I want it to sort of have a... It's going to be a big... Like, it's going to be a table full thing. And... not hoarding. It's not hoarding. It's collecting. It's sorting and organizing. I want it to have, like, different biome feel to it. So it'll have, like, some water and some mountains and some desert and some greenery kind of thing. I don't know where the rest of these are going to go. I guess there? Sure, why not? Ugh. And then I put this on here. And there's that. And then this. Alright, so it's 10 o'clock. So like arc, I don't know what arc is. Just this, that's it. No fun stuff down here or anything. What's arc, Johnny?
What's arc process?
Just throw that in there. Arc, survival, evolved dinosaurs you kill and capture. Oh. You've not played have you not played Horizon? I mean, I guess. I'll have to look because I haven't seen that. Arc, survival, evolved. Dinosaurs you kill and capture. I'm going to have to look that up because that kind of sounds fun. Okay, so Horizon Zero Dawn, all these guys, right, is basically a post-apocalyptic game where it's hard to describe without, like, because you should play the game. It's like right up there with God of War, and I feel it's better than Elden Ring, but whatever. Don't at me. It's post-apocalyptic, and list 5 must-play games for someone who's not played games in a while. Horizon Zero Dawn, / Forbidden West, God of War. I think the remake is pretty good. Not played games in a while. Like, what's a while? So anyway, I'll think of some while I'm telling Johnny about this. You're a character named Aloy who's an outcast, and you must kind of prove yourself to your tribe that you belong as part of the tribe. The catch of this whole thing is your world is populated by machines that are analogs of animals, right? Horses, dinosaurs, birds of prey, cattle, scavengers. They're all very large. And your whole society has formed up around this sort of idea that you live with these machines, right? You are a native group of people. You are a very tribal, not native, and not savage either. It's like so primitive, maybe a little bit. And you must learn how to fight these machines as well as fight some humans. And the machines get bigger and bigger to the point where, so this big one, this was an actual set by Lego. But like, here's one of my sets. This is a Strider. It's basically a horse analog, right? Up into the largest machines being the tall neck, which is like a big brachiosaurus with like a Star Trek Enterprise dish on its head, as its head. And it's a big open world game, and you must go up the tech tree and learn skills and develop weapons and all this kind of stuff, and unearth the story of like what happened to the world. Like, there's clues about who you are, and there's clues about what the world is all about, and the story that unfolds is actually very, very good. I guess like I'll have to play Ark and find out for sure, but I will look it up. Like I said, I've got 2 games coming out that I need to be prepared for in the next month. So I don't know. I would say maybe a Zelda game. I'm sure there's a Zelda game that's good, like Breath of the Wild. Yeah, Breath of the Wild. I would also maybe play like it's been a while, say 5 years. I almost want to say one of the Fallout games. Oh, Red Dead Redemption. Definitely. Even if you just want to play Red Dead 2, I'd allow you. That'd be all right. You don't need to play Red Dead 1. It's almost kind of a different game. I'd avoid Fallout 76 altogether. I'm sure there's like a Batman game that's really good, like one of the Arkham Asylum games that's really good. Honestly, there's a game, I haven't played Last of Us. There's a game that was for the Nintendo Wii that was called Oh, now I'm going to forget what the name of the game was. I'm going to look it up because I want to get this right. So give me a second. I'll get on a new tab so I'm not disturbing what's going on over here. I would also recommend any Metroid games, but no Metroid games really have come out in the past 5 years. So, but I'm a huge, like what people are to Mario, I am to Metroid. I love Metroid. So there's a game. Resident Evil is a good series to get in, but you got to pick the right game. I think they're redoing one of them, aren't they? I just played, the most recent was The Village, Resident Evil Village. I was pretty good. Like, I was scared. Did I forget to put a thing on this? I sure did. Village was pretty good, but it really didn't have a whole lot to do with the rest of the wider Resident Evil story. So, there's a game on Nintendo Wii called Okami, which is arguably one of my favorite games of all time, and it was this simple but magical game. And it was great because you had the Wii controllers that were like wands. You can wave them at stuff. And the game revolved around you like painting the world back into whatever it needed to be. You had to, I don't even remember the story behind it now, but all the attacks that you had to do were like gestures. So like if you wanted to throw a bomb at something, you had to basically paint the rune of the bomb and it would do that. Animal Crossing is a good one. I would recommend that one too. I would avoid things like Fortnite or Minecraft, just because those are so big and so not like jump in and experience and be done with it after a while. Kingdom Hearts is pretty good. Any Kingdom Hearts game. There's Final Fantasy that came out recently too. So. All right, so here's your flowers. This is your set of flowers. In your vase. I can probably tilt it a little bit so you can see it. Oh, did you see that? How the color changed when I put the flowers in front of it? That's crazy. Yeah, so this is cool. I'm going to go put this up next to the other flowers. I would also recommend any Lego games too. The most recent Lego Skywalker Saga, real good. Like a lot of fun. Like more fun than it probably should be. Always going to suggest that. Battlefront 2 was pretty good. The Battlefront 1 and 2 games were good once EA got over itself. I would highly recommend those because I just not stopped playing those. But I think overall my favorite all-time game is probably Horizon, the Horizon series, those two games, and then the DLC. Absolutely play those. Some of the best story, graphic, fighting, music, concept, just wonderful. So yeah. I'm done for the night. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you guys hanging out and chatting and giving me somebody to talk to. So thanks again for being here. I will be back on Sunday. If you guys aren't doing anything Sunday morning, I know it's Easter morning, and those of y'all with kids or families might be doing something, church or egg hunts or something like that. But I will be either by myself or with Beth next week working on some Easter stuff. The Horizon games are open world. You don't get too railroaded. You're not too locked into anything. You can literally go anywhere. But some things won't open up unless you've got part of the story unlocked for you, and you can find some gear that helps you get to certain places. But for the most part, you can kind of go wherever you want. And my son did exactly that. He started at one end, and he tried to uncover the fog of war at the complete other side of the map just to uncover everything. And it got him wrecked. But it's a lot of fun. It may be too open world. I've heard that. So play it and find out, and let me know what you think. Yeah, so you guys have a great weekend. Be safe, have fun, say hi to your families. I will be back on Sunday, and yeah, so take care, and we'll talk to you soon.